We're on the 18th of June and we've got about a week ahead of us of nice warm weather. So this afternoon I've prepped this bed. It had the failed first earlies in which got frosted. Pull them out today, there's nothing under them, so, and all the beans, took all the beans out. So once again, preparing the carrot bread, I just lightly raked it to about 1.5 inches deep. Took all the stones out of it which are there from previous compost that I've put on, like the horse manure compost I got, which was full of stones. So I've sieved all the stones out of it, what I could anyway, in the top 2 inches. And I'm going to sow my carrots. So I've got 13 rows here. I'm putting the Eskimo in. 13 rows, and I'm going to try, because these Eskimo seeds are slightly bigger than the Touchon seeds. There's a gram of seeds, it doesn't say how many there is. I've got 2 packets of these. So I'm going to endeavour to try and sow these carrots 1 inch apart, these tiny seeds. Could be a while, but I'll see shortly. Let's get these in. Phew, that is it guys, I'm done. Use the entire packet, a gram of seed. The quickest way of doing it was actually, rather than just have a pinch and try and sprinkle them, it's a bit hit and miss that, because you end up dropping 2 and 3 seeds in the same spot and then having to drag them around, which takes ages. So I resorted to scattering maybe a dozen or so in my palm and picking out each individual seed and sowing them. And I even timed it for you, so it took 2.5 minutes to do a single row. There's 13 rows. The time's irrelevant to me. It's more important that the carrots are evenly spaced down the drill. So they're roughly 1 inch apart, 3/4 inch apart, some of them. What it means is I don't have to take the net off to thin the carrots. So the net can just stay on, and we're not likely to get the carrot root fly coming under the net, which is, you know, of benefit. Because the most dodgy time to sow carrots is now. To cover the drills over, I've just got some sieved wood chip that I scraped from under the paths. I'm just going to put about, what, 1/2 inch on top of them. Just press it down like so. Then I've already watered the ground once. I've put how many? I put probably 6 cans of water on the bed before I sowed the carrots. And this soil's nice and moist, but I am going to give them another watering. The only reason I'll have to take the net off now is to do some weeding. This wood chip compost that came from on the paths should probably be quite weedy with all the weed seeds that are blowing around, you know. But you know, I've put markers in where the rows are, so I'll be able to recognise which are carrots and which are weeds. Once we get this first flush of weeds up, should be pretty good after that. With disturbing the ground so much with raking it, there'll be weed in between the rows as well. I'm trying to sow this compost on top of the carrots so that it's, you know, it's even. So there's an even height, if you like, on top of the carrots. So hopefully they'll all germinate together. I don't want to bury any too much. The drill, that's why I've left the drills open like this with the carrots sowed in them, because I'm literally just leveling them off with compost, which is about 1/2 inch of compost over the top of them. Right, so for my calculation, which is very rough, there's roughly 48 carrots in every row. It's 13 rows, about 600 seeds or so in a gram then. Something just around that. Probably obviously not all going to germinate. But if we can get 600 Eskimos out of this bed, it'll be really nice. There you go, that's all I've got to do now is keep this bed moist this next week with this warm weather. So I bought this veggie mesh, and it's a lot better than the mesh I've been using. It's a lot stronger. And I bought a 5 metre length and a 3 metre length, you know, for the 10-foot beds and the 16-foot beds. And I figured if I put the old mesh in, the thinner stuff, if I double it up and put it on the end of the frames, then I can simply go over the top like this with this veggie mesh, and then I'm just going to get some clamps, some of those like marquee spring clamps, and just hold it onto there. Well guys, I've been waiting on the delivery. I've ordered some little clamps to hold this netting on, and I decided, because the net's not that long, it's 3 meters 10 foot, I decided to put this old meshing I've got, I doubled it up and I've just stapled it onto these frames, because if I'd run the net down back, then I'd have vastly reduced the amount of room I had to grow under. Since I put the carrots in the other day as well, I've also sowed some peas across the back there. Now I'm just going to get that in the centre. I've just ordered these little clamps. They're going to hold the netting on. I could have put staples in, I suppose, but if I put staples in, the nets are permanently fixed to these frames then. Ta-da! There it was, done. Yeah, I think that'll work out quite well. As I say, I didn't want to fix the nets on the end things, because you know, then when I'm lifting the net up to harvest carrots, do a bit of weeding, whatever I need to do, I can just unclip them from there and fold the net up easier than it being attached to the ends. But that's it. Just wait for those little guys to come up now. Well, it's 10 days ago that I planted those little carrots, and I'm just going to bring you right up to date and show you what's going on. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The little carrots are coming up, guys, so yep, the germination is going to be good on the Eskimos. More there, so that's good news. I'll give these a week now, just let them come up, just let them get a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher. I'm just going to water them now. You can see the surface is just cracking a little bit there where I put the wood chip in over them. It's been dry and windy today, sunny and windy, soon dries the surface out. I'll give them a bit of water, and I'll give them a weed in about a week. But you know, it's almost 3 years to the day when I first walked onto this allotment, and although a lot has changed, a lot hasn't changed. The layout is basically exactly how I walked on. A lot of things have been redone, but yeah, I'm going to give you 3 years on the allotment video. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.